What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Ambition Show, where we explore the journeys of innovators, entrepreneurs, change makers, shaping the world. And we have world-class guests today, especially. I'm your host, Aaron Muhammad, and today's episode is extra special because we celebrate not only fantastic fashion, fantastic innovators and entrepreneurs, but we also are going to have a great interview with an entrepreneur that is inspiring not only her team, not only people around her who are, whether they're vendors, whether they're customers, but also will be great inspiration to you out there, whether you want to start your own fashion line, you're a fashion entrepreneur, or you're looking to work with really talented, innovative, definitely business and marketing savvy fashion and apparel entrepreneurs. So there's a great exhibit right here in Chicago. We're going to check that out. We're going to get some visuals from that. And then, of course, we're going to go into our interview with our great, lovely guest, Aimee. And you know what? This is going to be a little different today. We're going to actually answer some questions in this episode, too, because we had some questions that came in and wasn't able to get to them, but they aligned perfectly with what we're going to talk about today, because we're not just looking at fashion overall. We're going to get really specific into a market that is growing, a market of manufacturers, a market of designers, a market of entrepreneurs who are developing entire fashion lines and boutiques, couture fashion, as well as opportunities in marketplaces for apparel to be shared and to be purchased all over the world. We're looking at the way African fashion designers from multiple countries throughout the entire continent are changing the game in everything from couture fashion, boutique fashion, streetwear. We want to make sure that we highlight not only the names that you may know, of course, some of the more innovative names that have been out there for a while, but also some names that you need to know, that you're going to get to know as you start seeing these. They're just blasting off the runways and they're going into the streets, and you're going to see them at some of the best parties and some of the best events worldwide. And of course, we're going to talk about marketing and sales channels, which are essential when you're not only trying to penetrate a new market, but you're trying to solidify yourself in your market and build out your brand. Aimee has some great tips and her own experiences from that as well. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're honored to speak with a woman at the forefront of this movement whose innovative thinking has built a good team, has helped her grow the brand and connecting with people all over the world. You really want to take note to the opportunity here to get these gems that she's about to drop, because here's something very important to understand is that networking. And I'm not talking about, no offense to you, but I'm not talking about no MLMs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuine networking, building relationships, whether it's personal, that flourishes and goes into business, or it's maybe even, romantic that also transitions into business and helps you with business, platonic that helps you into business, family. Building good relationships is networking, right? That's all it's about, is being honest, being genuine, being real, being kind with who you are, with what you want to share and what you want to learn. Being upfront and honest with yourself about what you need to know, what you need to help you grow. Aimee shares some amazing gems and wisdom right here in this interview. Honored to have her, honored to know her, honored to be a customer, honored to work with her. And yeah, I just think you're going to have an amazing time listen to what Aimee had to say in our interview. So let's get right into it. This is our interview with Aimee, the owner, the proprietor, fashionista. Here we go. Let's get into the interview. We now have our guest, Aimee. I brought it up before of how talented, how amazing her company is. We've done a few social media pieces for her company, and I was amazed when I first saw a shirt of hers, and I was like, I have to have it. First, I had to lose some weight. You had to get the belly in, had to get the belly tight, because Aimee is one of those designers that fits to your body. So, when you had them extra burgers, it's going to push out a little bit. You got to make sure you stay nice and, keep the six pack going. This is couture fashion. This is high fashion. This is the fashion that a lot of people are looking for, quality products. And she's been producing them for years. But I definitely wanted to make sure I took the time to introduce the world, as many people who listen to this as possible, to Aimee and her beautiful work. So let's introduce her. Aimee, how are you doing today?
Hi, Aaron. I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Good. So tell us about just first off, tell us about your brand, because that's the whole point. It was the whole point is to get people understand the power of quality products and quality work and putting time in to develop a brand. And especially from what we're seeing out of a lot of fashion designers around the world. Tell us about your brand and who you are and what you guys do.
All right. All right. Great. First off, thank you so much for inviting us.
Of course.
So, hey, beautiful people. Aimee here. So, I'm a founder and creative director of Lipuita Fabrics. So, I know usually people always do confuse a little bit Lipuita or Lupita. So, yeah, so it's Lipuita Fabrics. So, at Lipuita Fabrics, what we do is that we supply fabrics. Yeah, fabrics both printed and handmade, but not forgetting we also do customized outfits. So that is a small thing I can introduce ourselves. Yeah. So we do
Okay.
customize, yeah, both male, female, and of course your babies.
Can't forget about the babies, and they're the ones that are going to break the bank the most of them. Can't ever forget about the kids. Well, one of the other things, and you've brought up, like you've gotten into like doing other accessories and do other pieces. You're starting to grow that as well. What took you from like, okay, I just want to do, like you said, the apparel into doing accessories as well? Like what caught your eye, or what made you think of kind of growing and expanding the brand into other areas?
Oh, right. So, first off, I think maybe it's good for people to know where we are best. So,
Mhm.
Liputa is best in Africa,
Okay.
and that's Uganda. So, why I decided to do that? Usually, my core value, even when it comes to the business that we do, we are always open to uh, upscale
Hmm.
our community's livelihood.
Hmm.
And I can assure you this that in Africa, very many people are talented. Like
Okay.
they are skilled in different ways.
Right.
So why not? And also just off maybe the brand. Personally, there are some few things that I'm learning every day that I love. I love accessories. I love purses. I love different kind of things. Yeah. So why we decided to channel, we felt like now you are a store, you have fabric, yeah, you're customizing something for somebody. And let's say you are going maybe to an event, but because I've seen that a lot with my clients. Sometimes they are stuck. They are going to do something, but they're like, where will I have a bag? Where will I have this? So we slowly by slowly, we are introducing or adding up so that when the person leaves, they know that they have a full package. Yeah. So it's not something that we really, really front to like for and say yes, yes, but it's something that we are slowly introducing and also allowing the people within the community to be exposed to allow their god-given talents to be seen
Hmm.
outside. Yeah, so that's actually what made me feel like, oh, there is so much more, why don't we give them a chance? So giving
Right.
them a chance to see how much better they can also believe in themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. Love that. Love that. And you mentioned, because I wanted to touch on that. I'm going to go back into what you brought up about, kind of complementing the entire outfit and doing the most for your client, but also showcasing the talent and the beauty of your community. I want to focus on your community for a moment. You brought up you're based in Uganda.
Mhm.
Now, is there a market, a large market from an industry perspective of designers and manufacturers there, or are you kind of pioneering it and kind of standing alone and bringing more attention to the growing community of designers and fashion apparel coming out of Uganda? Just could you give us a little bit more about the background and understanding about the country, specifically within your industry?
All right, great. So I want to be honest, I'm not pioneering it because it's been there.
Okay, good.
But maybe I feel like I just I just have a different vision and perspective. Now that takes me back to why we started Liputa. In 2020, I had a chance to be part of a UK cohort, which was held by Queen Roke, the African
Okay.
Fashion Week London. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I was there, honestly, I can test, and that fine. I always say this every day that I'm a living testimony, because it opened me to do more, to see more, that there is need actually. You get to realize that people at the diaspora, people who know that they have a background coming back from Africa, they want to actually trade, they want to do more, they want to have a feel uh, of something coming from their motherland. So we looked into it, and we saw our need. So where did our need come from? There are people who want to maybe do business with us in Africa, and you feel
Right.
like, oh my God, can I trust them? Can I do this? Are they
Right.
the right people? And fine, if we want to come, are they more knowledgeable? Because I've learned something in business, that somebody will buy from you not because of maybe the quality, not because maybe the outfit of you're going to offer, but it's knowledge. Yeah. I
Very
have
true.
spent 6 years into the skin beauty consultation. So, yes. So, I've understood there's something that my senior then used to tell me, that the more you interact with people, the more you tell them about give them the information actually, and then let them decide. Yeah. So, we saw
Okay.
that need whereby people didn't know, like, the fabrics, but someone wants to buy, but they actually want someone to walk with them. Take an
Exactly.
example at hospital. Yeah, you're not okay, but you need that doctor, you need that nurse to walk with you, like show you care, like that love. Like let them walk with you literally. Like, I mean, who doesn't want love? Who doesn't want care?
Right.
So that kind of thing. So it opened me that yes, there are people who want to buy, but they want to understand. So what we
Right.
did in the entire session, all the time when we were still studying, I got to know that I need to know what I'm presenting. I need to know what I should tell my clients, that this is this, but we can have A, B, C, D. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then with that, I get to realize that, okay, which kind is my market? My market is this. That's the need that I've seen. Like they want to, but can they still buy and then trust? Can they still send their money and they know that this person will work with them? Because now when I'm working with somebody, I always want to show them this is what we've picked. This is
Right.
the stage we have reached. This is what we are doing. Yeah, until we
Right.
ship it to them. Because with my clients, usually I'm always in their shipping journey. Like I said, I'm not pioneering, but I saw the need, like a gap. A gap. People want to do this, but they want to understand. To do like, okay, the fabrics that are handmade, okay, how is it made? How
Hmm.
is it? How do I approach it? Whereby, so I realized that I need to give people time, and this is
That's
a
right.
vision. So I'm okay not really serving as many people as possible. Why?
Hmm.
Because there are particular people that I want to work with. And I can thank God for the little years or few years that we've been in Liputa. Most of the clients that we have we have engaged with, what happens is that after we build a relationship, yeah,
Right.
like family, they may not buy every
Like
day, but
family. Yeah.
they come back to you. And, so for me, that's it.
Good. No, now, you touched on like something really important, that just like the quality of what you're doing, the quality of the relationship, and yeah, you created a competitive advantage or a competitive edge, if you will. Like you said, you're not pioneering, but it's not about necessarily always pioneering necessarily in something that isn't there when it comes to the marketplace. Like there's no other businesses. It can be pioneering in the way you go about your business, which is clearly what you're doing in the quality of the relationship. And I love how you say you're following the journey, like the shipping journey, but the overall journey with the customer. That is building that relationship, and that goes to that quality, that brand quality. And you said you weren't on the line, you weren't online before. So
Mhm.
online now, what do you guys do? What do you use platform wise, or what do you find is working for you, from social media to how you promote online? Like what online tools are you using right now?
Okay. So currently, what we're using Instagram. That's what
Okay.
we are currently using.
Okay.
And yes, we've been having we've gotten a little bit of glitches here and there when it comes to website, but
Right.
we are. Yes, I always speak this openly. When you're starting up something, I don't know where it comes from, but there's a fire. You're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah. So
Understand.
I've been there. So currently we are using, and
Okay.
then we are working on our website. I feel
Okay.
like I used to think it was something I'll go in quickly. Yes, I can. I don't know about other
Yeah.
business owners, but when someone tells you website, like, yeah, I can put it up. But to be honest, to bring it into reality, because they
Exactly.
were asking me questions, what do we do? We need this. At some point I froze. I said, let's wait. Like, yeah, I actually froze over some time. So literally that's it. Then also another platform that I've seen working for us more, it's networking,
Okay.
maxing it. So
Okay.
which comes back to customer service, how
Right.
I purpose situation we handle people.
Okay.
Like I say, yes, we have supplied to you. We just don't stop at that. We build
Right.
her up. And then you notice that same person opens it to other people.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
That's
those
true.
are two tools. Instagram that we are on right
Mhm.
now, and also networking, which is word of mouth, which actually has worked for us and is
Right.
still working for us. Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing about that networking and word of mouth, which is a really good point, because it really is nothing more powerful than it. One of the things that's worked for a lot of brands that I've worked with, and just and what we've always seen in digital marketing is things like reviews, referrals, testimonials.
Mhm.
Have you leveraged? Have you thought about leveraging, or wondering have you leveraged in the past things like WhatsApp? Like WhatsApp for word of mouth and connecting people to communities and groups on WhatsApp. Just wondering, has that ever come up, or has that ever been an opportunity that you guys have thought about leveraging?
No, to be honest, but
Okay.
it's something we really want to, because what happens is that I decided to come up with our team. They may not sound like maybe the vision bearer or someone who knows what they're supposed to do, but they know what to do. Yeah,
Exactly.
so we have like X, Y, Z. Y knows who to report to, and Z knows who to report to.
Right.
Then, should there be maybe need where I come in? I come in, but I'll come in not as me. I'll come
Right.
in allowing X to fully take responsibility of her role as I guide her from the backside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a great.
So
That's great leadership. Great leadership.
yeah, so that is what we've been doing more
Mhm.
about. Now you're spoken about it. Hopefully.
That's because that's what I do. Digital marketing. So that's why that's the whole point of this. And that's what, Amy, you touched on something important. Make sure listeners pick up on is the power of networking. You said networking, you said word of mouth, and more people need to understand that, like I said, I saw one of your pieces in a Facebook group. I'll never forget this. That's how I found you. I saw it.
For
And I was like,
sure.
that's fire. I want to wear something like that. Like that looks really good. Let me look more into and literally networking and seeing somebody sharing what they had purchased, somebody sharing what they had found, and then just constantly connecting and keeping in communication. And then it can blossom into a beautiful, whether it's professional relationship from vendor
Mhm.
customer, or just us networking and communicating across the world. I've never been to Uganda, y'all, but I know Amy. And I don't. Amy, have you ever been to Chicago? I just thought about that.
Yeah, I haven't
No,
been. I
you got a boy
haven't.
here. You can always come. See, that's why you have to network people. You always have to keep those bridges going and keep building your own bridges. Don't just focus on others. But I just want to go back to something you said, which showed a great level of leadership from your part. You said, you kind of give people that responsibility. They do their job. They do their task within your group. How big is your team? And like, what do you, how did you go about building your team? Uh-oh.
Oh, God. But it's
Uh-oh.
okay. I'll say, because before when I started this
Mm-hmm.
journey, I felt like I got it all.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I will tell you this. Well, but as time went by, I would get overwhelmed.
Okay.
I needed my time. You know that moment when you come through, you speak to a client, you know that this one, he or she isn't turning back. Like, she'll never find
Yep.
another Lipuita. She'll never find another Aimee.
Yep.
Now that is me. When I come in, I give. At that point whereby you come in and I need to change this atmosphere. Like, if the person
Mhm.
was sad, even if they're both or not, they need to leave with a part of who an experience. There reached a time when it was so much. And I always mention this in 2023, and I
Mhm.
felt I was burnt out. Oof, it
Mm.
was too much. I first shut the company. It was working, but it's working, but you're looking at it at an angle, be like,
Mm.
because I was doing most of the thing myself. So I learned
Mhm.
that no, I need to pick up again, because I sat down. I was like, this vision, I cannot, I can't let this vision die. I'm this person. I love one thing about myself is that resilience. I'm like, I'm going to
Good.
walk through it. I'll stand up again because it's not my fault that I made a mistake. I didn't have anyone to tell me, but now that I'm learning, I need to get myself together. So that's the
Exactly.
time I decided to get a team. I needed a social media person. I needed a delivery person. I needed someone who's going to handle PR, maybe with me, but I also sit with them. I'm like, do you think it's the right decision? Do you think it's this? I
Hmm.
needed a team of great tailors. I don't know, seamstresses that you guys call mainly. So on ground, like you handle this, you handle this. When an order comes, we need to sketch it. We need a sketch. I felt like we needed to have everybody because every small stone that I'll keep picking along the road or along the way while working on a person's order is what we see as a end result, like with a shirt, a dress, anything. So I noticed that it is a vision, beautiful, but the vision can't be run only by that one person. If God gave you a vision, honestly, He gave you different teams to execute it. So the only thing right now, I just needed to find the right people. And I had to open my mind to say, I don't want to get somebody because of their experience.
Exactly.
No, that's not me. I get you because of what you're bringing, like what's your passion. You may not be perfect right now, but are you somebody I can bring to my team so that we can have this? Because me and Bob, like, we're in a journey. So I had to reshuffle my mind. Personally, I
Hmm.
had to deal with myself, allow also
Yeah.
God to deal with me because I just for my business. Yeah, I do. So I ended up when I came out of it, I understood that I'm just Aimee. The business is there, but tomorrow, if Aimee is not there, will people still feed? And then I remember the people that I got. You're telling there are people who depend on the work that you're giving them for their livelihood, for their children. So should I say no to them and we built a good relationship? I said no. I need to delegate. The word delegate for me was a big ton. So allow me God my holiday. I know who I'll talk to, who I'll
Right.
say, I'll just say X, you know what to do. Please handle. Or
Exactly.
maybe sometimes I come into my teams, I'm like, how can I help you? Do you think I can help? I can see that I can help, but I'm like, would you want me to help? Because I also respect that that is their area. Would you want me to help? So that is how I've decided, whereby I watch them at an angle, allow them mark, and also allow them when they receive their pay, they're able to know that I worked for it. Yeah, I did
Good.
this. And also let them challenge me and be like, Aimee, I did this. Did you see how? And also, yeah, because I always sit them down. I'm like,
Right.
and when sometimes, usually I do this a lot with my teams, when something came out well, the client loved, I'm like, yo, the client was like, oh my God. When a post goes up, I'm like, girl, your social media game, it's an e-game. Like, I couldn't even do that.
Okay.
So because we also have a specialist of messages leather,
Yeah.
you can't run it all. Yes, you have it, you have everything, but no,
Yeah.
you may have everything, but you don't have the capacity, you don't have the ability, you don't have the skills to pull
True.
everything. So you need people. So yeah, that's
No,
what we did.
that's
Mhm.
that's absolutely beautiful, and that's something I've had to learn. I think everybody has to learn, but it's great that you walk through that experience because
Mhm.
that's where a lot of people start off, where they think
Yeah.
because I'm starting off as an entrepreneur, that means I have to do everything on my own. And yeah, you could get a lot of, like you say, you make sense. You can get a lot of stuff done on your own, but you might not have not only necessarily the skills, but also are you really executing it to its fullest ability because you're trying to do everything. As I always put it, like you're trying to get 100% output out of 10%, 20% input. And that just doesn't work.
Happened
That's beautiful.
after falling. After you're falling, you know how deep it is, the wound is. The moment you wake up and you look at your vision, you're like, okay,
Mm,
was this really me or it was for somebody else?
mm.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Good
And
lesson.
so I've learned how to do that. And also, there's something I've been telling myself, and I'm always telling my business friends as well, that if you have a business, pay your teams, pay them.
That's right.
Let that business pay them, because there you have the energy to work. Pay them. It may not be that much, but pay them. Let them
Mhm.
go home when they know that yes, I've been paid.
Yeah, they've earned something, and then they it's an investment. It's investment in them, and they have more confidence in it. There's a great book about, well, it's not necessarily just about pay; it's about aspects, but it's a great title to the book, "Leaders Eat Last,"
Yep.
and by Simon Sinek. And I always like bring up a book in an episode, so you know me. Um, so yeah, I would definitely suggest everybody check it out. You check it out if you haven't. If you haven't, Leaders Eat Last is fantastic, and it goes right to that point about how the leaders are making sure, like you said, they invest in their people. You pay your people first. You take care of your people first, because then they want to come back and they want to work for the overall goal. They want not work for you as a boss. They want to work for you as you're a great leader, and it's making a great team.
Mhm.
All right, so now you just dropped some about leather, and you told us a little bit about what y'all do. And like I told you, I'm from Chicago. If you don't know about annihilator gators, that's what we call them, annihilator. They look like annihilators, gators, old school. I'm an old school cat because I want to make sure people know about the brand and how your craftsmanship. What materials do you guys work with, and what have you produced? And just tell us a little bit more about the quality of your materials that you guys work with.
Well, that's a beautiful question because, yeah, we supply fabrics, but it leaves people wondering, do you make them yourself? We started that we supply both printed and handmade. Why?
Mhm.
Because looking at our clientele basis, we have clients who want maybe a certain printed fabric because that's what they want to supply. And then there are those people who want to go African bit. Yeah, so fabrics that we handle vary. So we have silk, we have cotton, we have chiffon, and then we also have the different bridal tools and all that. So we have everything because as a supplier, I feel like it's just not fair for me to say I'm only targeting African people. So beautiful, but hey, why
Right.
not? I love nice things. So you never know. I want to supply. I want to see another person put on, and I'm like, yeah, we added to that. Like they got from us. So we have all that. So just to clarify, when it comes to handmade fabrics, handmade are
Mhm.
usually the customized ones, which
Mhm.
I think many of us have had is batik, tie dye. So yeah, that's for people when they need. So what printed is when when you know that the fabric has been printed like through the machine. Like it doesn't call you to do this and that, but the machine brings it out. Yeah, we have seen it in different countries within Netherlands. When you look at Visco, how they do it, it's printed. Yeah, so when you go maybe to China and they bring out like those beaded tools and all that, so that's it. Then the
Beautiful.
handmade, they're different. The handmade is when you're doing like the batik. They are those that
Mhm.
you just get a piece of cloth and then you have the entire process. We actually are working on something
Okay.
just yes, whereby you come up, you make and say, okay, this you dye it maybe to black, then you add patterns that maybe share meaning. So those are all printed, whereby you put on, and yeah, you still look beautiful. So those are different kind of fabrics that we are supplying. I may not have mentioned all, but yeah.
So before we break out, just want to make sure what projects or what anything that's coming up that you want to share, anything that's coming up as a new line, new project that you're working on, or collection, anything like that. Anything you got for us to share and to look out for from you guys?
Yeah, there's one thing that I've always wanted. I won't talk about it yet until you people see it. Like my first people see it. So don't worry, I'm not bringing out. But what we already bringing in a place, like I said also earlier, that accessory more like a bag, but leather. These are leather pieces that we are tackling. You have your purse, then but you don't want to add the usual bag. You want maybe a small pass or something. So why I decided to go that way actually it is I wanted to give more to our community back home. So I was like, okay, we have places. Maybe yes, we may not have sales every time.
Okay.
Yeah, not every time someone wants to put on, even if they want. So
Right.
even if they order right now, they'll tell you, "I want it delivered in June. I want it delivered da 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 da." But I felt like there is something that can always be made, and then from it we have like a percentage off that we usually go back and then we get our seats on and get a place within our community and just go. And we personally cook for them. Yes, I believe in sending things, but when it comes to cooking, I love cooking. So
Okay.
Curry, I told you, I'll buy everything. We are coming with a team, and then we do the cooking ourselves. And then we
Really?
eat with them. Yeah, I'm a cook. I'm a cook guy. I can.
You'll cook on the fashion, you cooking the food. Okay. Respect that.
Well,
Respect. What question for you? Speaking of cooking, okay, gonna get slightly, I guess, off topic, but no, it's on topic because you brought up cooking. What is like a traditional dish that you enjoy making? A Ugandan dish that you enjoy making?
all right, all right, all right. I love cooking, but I don't
Mhm.
like eating so much.
Okay,
I think I had to clarify that.
that's very
So
clarify. That's fair.
the
That's fair.
traditional food that we do here
Mhm.
depends, varies, but it's called matoke. Matoke are usually like plantains, like the bananas.
Okay, yeah.
So what we do is that you peel it and then you use banana leaves. Yeah, I
Okay.
think you can look it up, guys. You need to look it
Yeah.
up. Banana
Mhm.
leaves, you open it. First thing on after you peel the bananas, like you cover it using the what? Those leaves. Like you cover it with those leaves.
Okay.
And of course, yeah, you cook. It's a process. Like how you put it in the saucepan is a
Mhm.
process, and then off you put it on the fire. It boils. Give it some time. Then you press it. Ah, yeah. Please do. If you're hearing me, please go look it up. Please,
I
please,
will.
please.
What's the name of
And
it
then
again?
it's called matoke. It's Matoke. So you can eat it with very many things. You can eat it with sauce, which is maybe chicken stew, beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I love rice a lot. So even if I do that, I drop a bit of rice just I
A
don't know
little bit of
for any
rice,
other person, but just for me. Yeah.
just for for the little that
Just
you're
for
gonna
me.
eat. Okay. Okay.
And
So, and I've always put my order in. Like whenever I do visit Uganda, I'm looking for that meal from you. But now we got project. Quick, one last question. I
okay.
ask every guest this question. Usually, I go back and forth either a quote or a book. You can choose either one. If there is a quote or a statement that you can share with the audience that, whether it's motivational, inspirational, even aspirational, or a book that you would suggest that they read and they check out to help them on their entrepreneurial journey or while they're a small business owner. You can choose either one. You can take a quote or you can pick or share a book with us, whichever one you like. And I'm not going to interrupt you. The floor is
All right.
yours.
I think I can say a line that I usually stand on so much.
Go for it.
Speaks
Go
to
for
me
it.
every day that there is a beauty in being rejected. Yeah, there's a beauty in being rejected, misunderstood, unseen, or unsupported. Yeah, it turns you into something great. Can I repeat that? There's
You
a
can
beauty
repeat it. Say
in
that again. That's powerful. That's very powerful.
yeah, so there's a beauty in being rejected, misunderstood, unseen, and unsupported. Yeah, because it turns you into something great. I know many of us right now, you have maybe a calling, you see yourself doing something, but because you're not getting our support, there's a way
Mhm.
it drops up your spirit, it drops up maybe the vision that you always saw every time you have been growing up. Yeah, you feel like, oh my God, are they going to see me? Yes. The key here is keep going because it's going to turn you into something great. And just to add also, very many people love finding somebody when they are finished product, but they don't want the process. Yeah, so you
Okay.
never know your processes. Your when you're being rejected, you're actually in a process. When you're showing your ideas, picture are not seeing it. It's actually the process. Because once you come out of it, it's going to be something so amazing. Not forgetting, I have a background in real estate as well. And I've been talking to somebody today
Okay.
actually, he told me, said, I
Yeah.
just love it when I speak with you. I love it when you tell me things. There's some things that you tell me that makes me feel like I want more for my business. So I told him, like, yeah, what you have actually is gold. Real estate is something so powerful. Forgive me
Right.
for bringing this because it's fashion. It was
No,
really
go ahead.
powerful.
No, go ahead.
Why?
Drop it.
Because,
Drop
but then I told her that you need to know one thing. You need to identify who your client is because when you tell somebody this apartment per month, maybe $3,000 and above, they need to know why. And still, as something I told him, your business is growing. Learn how to get our team. Get our team.
right.
Once you have a team, release what you want that team to be from the start. Don't wait after 4 years. Don't wait after 3 years. Don't wait
Hmm.
after 2 years.
Exactly.
Do it now. Why? Because he was telling me that I have people around 25, 26. I said, yo, that's a blood. That's a blood that we need. Go with them because they're passionate. They know they want to, they see themselves somewhere. Because I
That's
told
right.
him, if possible, we need to make outfits for them. Let's just get them in a place. They talk about the brand. They just say, oh my God, would you want a house? Please come on. Just something like that. And they'll share it with their people, like their colleagues. Their colleagues may not come to this apartment because they can't afford it. But you know what it releases? It brings confidence to them. Be like,
Right.
oh yeah, I can do this. So yeah, if something you're doing is going to be great, so don't feel off because nobody's buying from you. I've been there. Nobody has been buying from me, but I always woke up and said, "Yeah, I'm great. I'm great." Because I always speak to myself. You'll never find another Amy anywhere. You will never.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I know I have my flaws, but honestly, you will never find because
No.
I mean, like, where will you find her? So
Right.
just always look at yourself at the highest and love yourself and things will turn out great. So I think that's what I had to say. I don't
That
know.
no, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. You did it on the spot too.
Right.
Um, because way more people need to hear it, or not even just hear it. They need to absorb it and understand that about themselves and how unique and
Mhm.
beautiful they are. But
Yeah.
like you said, it's a process too. It's a process. You're not, people want perfection immediately, or they want perfection. Okay, I don't want to present anything unless it's perfect. I don't leave it with this. I just wanted to talk about this like with the podcast, and I shared that a couple episodes, and I keep sharing it. It's like it takes time. It takes time to grow. It takes time to build it, but you also got to go through the lumps. You got to learn as you go, right? And if
Yeah.
you wait for everything to be perfect and then you'll present it to the world, well, look how much time you wasted where you could have been learning and building those relationships with people and building a team. Your team is really lucky to have you, and I'm lucky to have you as a good friend and a good networking partner. And I'm still working on this belly so I can get into my new shirt that, that I'm about to order. I got a little ways to go. But last but not least, just want to make sure, drop your social media website, wherever people can find you, wherever you want them to find your beautiful quality work and they can put in them orders. Where can we find you? Where can we find your brand?
You can find us on Instagram. Yeah, it's Lipuita Fabrics, not Lupita. Maybe let me just spell it because you made them and you go like, why
Yeah.
did you say
Yes.
Lupita? No,
Please spell it,
it's
please.
L
No
L.
sales now. Don't be giving
No,
nobody
no,
else
wait,
no
wait. It's
sales.
Liputa. So just like Liputa fabric. So Liputa actually just means something vibrant. Yeah, vibrant, like the colors, like the energy. That's why I said you'll never find another Liputa anywhere because when you come to us, it's just the energy. Like,
Mhm.
I don't want to say the vibe, but yeah, it's an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. That's the
So
best way
for
to put it.
now, you can find us there. Feel free to send us a DM. Then also we have our email address, which is liputawax20@gmail.com. Yeah.
All right, everybody. And that information will also be, of course, as always, description of this episode. And we are so lucky and so blessed to have time with Aimee today. She took time, like she said, she was bouncing around doing a lot of business, making deals, making moves, and clearly mentoring people at the same time. So, I mean, one woman army, but you have a great team with you as well. Thank you so much, Aimee, for joining us. Appreciate it. And everybody, definitely check out the team over on Instagram, drop them a DM. Work on your core like me so you can get into those fashion pieces. Because when you look good, man, let me tell you, it's popping. I got all kinds of compliments all over my last trip. All right. So thank you once again, Aimee. Best to you and the team. Okay, so like I said, we had a few questions and it made sense to fit them here because they're just literally on brand. We're talking about fashion brands. Although we're specifically going into more brands from African countries, but these questions can help brands from anywhere. So let's kick it off with the first one by Christy. What are the steps for building a fashion e-commerce website? Okay, so a fashion e-commerce website. Now, the cool part about it is, at least when it comes from an e-commerce standpoint, it's pretty much the same no matter if it's fashion, if it's food, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. The basic steps are always going to be there. It's going to be a few additionals specific to fashion, but the majority of the steps are the same. Number one, of course, you want to pick a platform. And this is very important, picking a platform where you can customize it as much as you need to. Why is that essential? Because your target audience, and this is why it kind of aligns with what we're talking about today, your target audience could be in a country, where you may not be able to ship product, or they may not be able to purchase that product based on payment gateways available. So you want to make sure that your platform, whether it's, you're using WordPress, you're going to connect with WooCommerce, Shopify, Squarespace. You want to make sure that that payment gateway that you're going to be paid through is also available, and that platform is also available in that country, right? Or at least one of the countries that your target audience is. Now, if you have 1 or 2 customers, that's one thing. But if it's your target audience, you want to make sure that you can connect with them that way, on that platform. That's the first and foremost thing. You want to determine that. Then, of course, it gets a little more tactical, where now you have to, of course, pick a domain. You want to pick a domain. I always suggest picking your domain from a third-party source. I use Ionis. You can also go to Whois. I don't typically purchase a domain through the platform I am going to host a website. Why? Because sometimes, based on the website, based on the business, I want to leave that domain. I want to leave that platform. Or to say, I want to take my domain and leave that platform. You wonder why? Because I may, based on the business changing, things may be happening, I want to take my domain to another platform. That happens to a lot of people. And if they're stuck in a contract where it's connected, where the domain is connected to the hosting and the domain is connected to the platform itself, that can make that a little challenging, and also can make it more expensive. So I always suggest to people, hey, go get it to a third party. Well, most of my clients, we go through one of 3 parties to get our domains, and then we'll build the website, maybe even on that same platform. So it may be Shopify, maybe Squarespace, something like that. Or, we'll build the website on another platform and connect to the domain. It doesn't hurt, doesn't change much, except for the fact of you have more flexibility. Once again, you're an entrepreneur, you want to control your business. Definitely the third one, and this is going to be more specific, of course, to the fashion area. Now, when it comes to your shipping, when it comes to distribution, when it comes to your supply chain, are you shipping the product out? Okay, so it's going to be easy for you to work with a handler, whether that's DHL, whether that's UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx. And of course, can that product, once again, just like with the payment gateway, can it get to that country? Can it get to those countries that you're shipping to, right? What costs can you negotiate to get to that country? Is it easy for you to integrate? Now, Shopify, easy integrations for this. WooCommerce, easy integrations for this. Not all platforms are made alike, though. Okay, so Christy, you want to be sure that, number one, you can get on a platform where you can ship your product, but also you can sell to that target audience, and you can easily connect with them, and they can easily buy your products and buy them from you. And of course, like I said, key step is your domain. And that domain, I always recommend that you get your domain from a third party. Everything else is very, it's aesthetics. It's all creating, designing, all that stuff. These are the critical points. These are critical points that go into managing a business. But great question, Christy. Thank you so much. So her question was, what are the best steps for building a fashion e-commerce website? Okay, now y'all, what's good? What's good? So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Ambition Show podcast. Thank you once again to our guest, Aimee, for just sharing her story, sharing her journey, sharing her brand. Links to her brand are in the description of this episode. You could definitely check them out, find more pieces. And this was a great opportunity to check out what's happening in the fashion world in general, but specifically from fashion designers and fashion brands that are coming out of, many countries out of Africa. And they had this great display. They had this great exhibit here, right here at the Field Museum. And we're really happy that we had a chance to broadcast here. We could do our interview. It was all kinds of cool stuff going on. And we, get to answer some questions. And just overall, it's an overall good vibe. Overall good vibe. And really appreciate everybody who took the time to be a part of this. So with that, we're going to get to the book of the episode. And must admit, this was one of the few episodes where I didn't have a book ready, right? Normally I have an episode in mind. I was like, okay, I know a great book that fits that. We just got to make sure that it will help you guys upon the journey, the reason why you're tuned into this episode. But then I did a little digging. And I know Aimee, I know a few other people who still work in fashion. They said there's a great book you got to check out. You're talking about branding from a fashion standpoint, no matter what country you're in. You're talking about branding. Got a great book for you guys. Brand Elevation. Lessons Pay attention. Just lessons in Uber branding. Now, there's a couple of courses that I've taken when I was first started my e-commerce store, my e-commerce women's apparel line some years back. And some names kept coming up. And somebody said Wolfgang Schaefer. And I was like, Wolfgang Schaefer. Never heard of Wolfgang Schaefer. Wolfgang Schaefer kept coming up. Took some time, read some blogs, read some reports. Like I said, knew a couple buyers who were helping us understand. And like I said, I take a deep dive. Whatever it is, I'm gonna learn everything. Like if I'm gonna start a widget business, I'm gonna learn how to make the widget, how to repair it, how to shape it. I don't care. Different sizes doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. That's just just how I roll. And people were giving me all these examples, all these books to check out. And like I said, this name kept coming up, Wolfgang Schaefer. It's like, okay, check it out. Look at the blogs, look at a few, stories about him, or just things that he had done. And it's crazy how life comes full circle, because when I was looking for a book for this episode, somebody mentioned, "Hey, have you heard of Wolfgang Schaefer?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember that name from some years ago. Remember hearing it." Like, he has a great book, Brand Elevation. How to bring your brand up, how to step it up, how to bring up the game of that brand. How to really put yourself in a position. He goes over the main drivers behind brands becoming truly unmatched, priceless, timeless, if you will, right? And when my associate brought it up, I was like, okay, well, what brands does he go over? What brands does he go? I said, what brands does he go over? He's like, no. Like, this book goes into not just saying, oh, this is what they can do, this is what they've done. It's real accounts, like real case study from the experts who worked on those brands, including him and his partners, right? And I was like, now that's what we're talking about. Real account, actionable insights from the reader, right? Or for the reader, I should say. Because what we see in a lot of case studies is, oh, this is what happened. That was great. How can I apply it is what I'm looking for. And that's what this book gives you. Bring that up because this is the stuff that's what it takes to go overseas. The Airbnbs, YouTube. We just brought up the power of YouTube and how great it is. Starbucks. No matter what challenges are coming up for these brands, there's no denying it. When someone says Starbucks, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly the feeling. That's a brand. You know exactly how you feel. Remember that? How you make the customer feel. That's a brand. It's not just a freaking logo. It's a brand. It's an energy. It's a power. It's something deep inside of you that when I have this, when I buy this, when I wear this, when I drink this, whatever it is, I have an expectation. I have a feeling. I even have a status with it. That's incredibly powerful. And that's what he goes over in Brand Elevation. Check out this book, Brand Elevation. Take a step back and look at where you are right now. What can you do to enhance your brand, to bring it to that point where it's distinct, it's a clear-cut mission, and you can connect with an audience where they are looking for you no matter where you go, and they'll stick with you no matter where you go. It's a great book. And I really thanks for sharing out to a couple associates who brought this up. It's a recommendation by two of my associates from a network, and that goes back to what we were just talking about with Aimee. The power of a good network, right? Because I put it out there, I'm like, hey, I'll make a book, y'all. I'm looking for something because I wanted something that specifically, that called out for branding from apparel. Everybody's like, well, this goes to that, but you could take this to anything. Once again, it's Brand Elevation, Lessons in Uber Branding by Wolfgang Schaefer. Great book. Link to that book is in the description, of course. And drop a comment after you purchase the book. You check out the book. Drop a comment of what other industry stands out like a sore thumb. It's right there for you. Like, man, these principles, these practices can be applied to this industry as well very easily. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Once again, for the few questions we had, I thought, like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to address them there. So if you guys were expecting those in the subreddit spaces and whatnot, sorry about that. Saved them for this episode, but thank you so much for those questions. They fit perfectly for this episode. Also, thank you so much for taking the time to drop in those questions. Thank you for the time to listen to those answers. And once again, if you have questions, drop in the subreddit. Links to the subreddits, links to the Reddits that I answer questions in on a regular basis will be right there for you. As I said, we do go live on our Patreon where I answer questions live. We do kind of a creative live session where I'm working on something, I'm creating something, but also I'm answering your questions. And if you want to be a part of that, join the Patreon. That's also in the description of this episode. Thank you so much, Aimee, for taking the time. Y'all don't even know, that was not the easiest interview to schedule. Just go call that out now, because Aimee is, of course, in Uganda. Uganda is about, well, let's see, time change, about 9 hours ahead, right? So when we're trying to schedule those types of interviews, hey, they can be a little challenging. You've been trying to get Aimee on the show for a while, but once again, time difference, it makes it a little challenging. Running your own business definitely makes it challenging. But she took time out of a busy day, and she mentioned a couple times, she was coming from other meetings and stuff like that. But that's the whole point. You dedicate to your audience, you dedicate that time and that effort and energy to your community. And she's about this community of entrepreneurship. She's, of course, about the community of fashion and community, of course, supporting the fashion community and the entrepreneurial community over in Uganda as well. But just in general, it's a worldwide, it's a global community. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Hope you got some great insights from her. Don't forget to drop your comments, of course, of what industry you think the book is. And once again, we're going to have some more awesome interviews this year, this season, for sure, on The Ambitious Show. Thank you for joining us along the road. And yeah, with that, looking out for your comments, looking out for your questions. Peace. Best to you and yours. Have a great one.
It's L. I know, right? It's Lipita. No. This is something else. Liputa.
Don't be giving nobody else no sales.